character part, just real quick, Sharon, just please answer.
He is somebody that he didn't seem like he's a part of that community. So therefore, he should have been using the male bathroom to shave. But
Aren't there unisex bathrooms that
what we
exist,
can
Sharon?
assume is that he's using that bathroom because now is okay for any gender to be a part of any bathroom, and he's using that as an example to be spying on people because we know that these perverted human beings, they put holes in hotel rooms and this and that, and they do these type of things.
But heterosexual
So
men do that. Like, what are we
that's
talking?
the so that is what so that's the bad character part that we're talking about. It's not necessarily that he's a part of said community. It's a part that is that they are using that community to be a bad character within society. And that's what True is saying as well. He's saying once you start allowing things, now things can get out in the open. People are going to use these things to take advantage of. Welcome to the show, Otis
And I'm gonna give you
podcast. So
I'm gonna
that's
give
what
you one more
that's what
thing,
True is
and
talking
then
about.
I'll
They
let
are
y'all have
using
this
that.
subject.
Yeah, so they're using that as a version so they could do they perverted things that they got in their mind. That's the problem.
I want to say this last thing, and then y'all could broach this subject and let me know when y'all get on to something else. You got my guy Jabba in the chat,
Right.
and this is what we had this conversation a couple months ago, and he even came on speaking out against the alphabet community and said provisions that's strictly given to them that allows them to do things that have since the beginning have not been allowed. We have never had problems with people that love the same sex. I didn't have problems. We sat at the same table, at the same lunch, worked together, all those type of things. I have no problem with Jabba at all. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Though he's respectable, I don't look at him less than a man either. You see what I'm saying?
He's a pervert?
But he doesn't carry himself in that manner. You get what I'm saying? He says, I like the same sex, but I will not impede on other people's way of life. And I respect him for that. And I will always respect him for that. So that's why I had to bring that up.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Like it is a difference. Like we got to act like we understand that it is a difference between somebody being attracted to the same sex and somebody being a perverted human being. It is a big difference in those two different things.
All right, so I just want to make some. I just want to make sure on y'all stance. I just want to make sure on y'all stance. So are we saying that any man or woman that dresses themselves as any man or woman that goes into the girl's bathroom, we should consider that as perverted?
If he's so what we're saying is this. So this is what we're saying is this. If a man is at a goddamn kids park by himself, just watching a whole bunch of children, every parent eyeballs is going to be lit up and like watching this human being just sitting there with no children. It's just what it is. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh, and no, that's a whole different story right there.
No, it's not. It's the same story because you're trying to act like it doesn't happen. When we see single men that doesn't have any children around a place where things can happen, it's a problem.
But I agree with that. That's not the same thing as somebody.
Let me say the problem is that everybody antennas goes up when that happens. Because what you are saying that just because a man is hanging out in the kids' bathroom at a park, that is okay.
I ain't say hanging out in the kids.
You don't realize that.
I did not say hanging out, bro. Come on, that's
the problem
bullshit.
is that you don't realize that you're saying that because just
that's
like
not what I'm saying,
like
bro.
At Planet Fitness,
what I'm saying.
Just like at Planet Fitness, he was acting like he was shaving or he was shaving. He could do that at a park and say, "Oh, I was washing my hands," and he could be washing his hands for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. Because when I walked in, he was washing his hands.
And here's
I don't know how long he actually.
Sharon,
I don't know. I got you. I don't know how long he actually been in there just hiding out. This is why they tell you when you send your little kids to the bathroom. This is why when you send your kids to the bathroom, they always say, "Go with your children to the bathroom." We understand these things, but if we trying to just defend men so badly, that's when it becomes a problem.
And that's crazy to me.
Go ahead, Brownsville, New York. Go ahead, speak your piece, and I'm gonna bring OtisWho into the conversation.
And that's the crazy part, right? Because I think we're so involved in protecting men that we're not understanding that it was a woman and a 12-year-old girl who believed their safety was compromised.
Correct.
Right? So that is my position, right? If a 12-year-old girl and a woman believes that they're unsafe in a woman's locker room, which is supposed to be a safety net for them within that facility, if they believe they're unsafe, I have a problem with it as a man. And I believe that all real men should have a problem with that, right? We got to get back to being real men, which is to protect and defend women and children. That is our nature, and we have to get back to our nature. There's no caveats to that. There's no, oh, what about this? There's no debates. No. If a woman feels unsafe, if kids feel unsafe, then we as men should have an issue with it. And I'm going to land my plane right there.
And also, I want to say is I was at the trampoline park the other day, and there was this special needs kid. He couldn't communicate verbally, and he started chasing after my child, and my child screamed for me. What am I supposed to do? I protect my goddamn child. I don't care if it's a kid or not. I push that kid right into the goddamn pit. Get stiff arm. I stiff arm that little kid right away from my goddamn child. Are you crazy?
So every time we see a dark-skinned dude at nighttime, we should all cross the street. Is that what we saying?
Now, this is the part where we don't like the narratives, because this is when you don't want to have the conversation.
The narrative. That's what y'all doing, man.
Narrative,
I see the dark-skinned dude at night. I'm crossing the street.
Because
okay,
look,
thank you for being honest.
Before we move on to that, we are having. Hold on, before we move on to that, right? We are having a specific conversation,
business, man.
No, because we are staying on topic, and the problem is, hold on, Lee. The problem is that when you say something like that, now that's racial profiling. That's a different topic.
You're gender profiling. That's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm saying. At least Truth is being honest. At least he profiled. At least he says I profile.
Here's the difference.
And I do it in this specific manner.
Hold on. The difference is this. We are gender profiling when it's in an unsafe place, when it's in a private place. We are not saying we are just gender profiling men walking down the street. We are saying we are gender profiling a man that is hanging around inside a woman's bathroom attempting to act like he is shaving. That is not gender-based. That is very specific of what that... Hold on. You get a chance to fucking talk. Why do y'all keep trying to attempt to talk over me?
Gaslight so much.
I don't fucking get it. You'll have your chance to talk. You don't have to talk over me. I don't stop y'all from talking. What I'm saying is that it is very specific what we are talking about. We're talking about a man that was shaving in a bathroom, not just men walking down the street. What you are describing is a man walking down the street in a dark alley. We should cross the street. That is completely different than somebody being in a specific place and looking like he is just attempting to be peeking on somebody. Those are two totally different subjects. Do not match those two things together because they are not the same.
Hey Lee, do you believe that women?
Hold on, before we move past, do you understand that those are two different things? Yes or no? Before we move past it, because I'm getting tired. We just had a conversation that we don't concede to nothing. Do you agree that those are two different scenarios, Lee?
I think that they have similarities, but yes, they are two different scenarios.
Thank you. So that's all.
My question to Lee is this: do you believe, Lee, that women and girls should feel safe while going to a bathroom or a locker room designated for them? Yes or no?
Yes. But that's not my argument, because the whole reason why the LGBTQ, the trans women, started to say that they were able to get that law approved is because they said they felt unsafe in our bathrooms. So that's where that whole thing started, and that has not been my argument. My argument is, when do we allow a few bad apples to spoil the bunch? And that's what that's what my argument has been this whole time. I get that y'all keep using this one person, and y'all probably have 20 different scenarios, but at the end of the day, the law was passed because they felt unsafe in our environments, right? So it was passed, and it is passed. So at this point, am I just gonna allow what propaganda does when they take a few bad apples and then they go, look, they're all like this? Because it sounds real familiar to me as a black man. That's what I'm trying to talk about.
That's wild. That's wild. But before we dive into that, because that's taking us to a rabbit hole that we know is not true. So let's not even entertain it.
It's a false equivalency.
Yeah, it is very false.
That's what it is.
We just conceded to that and said it was. But anyway, OtisWho podcast. What it do? What are your thoughts?
What's going on? What's going on, panel? Peace to the chat and everything, Grand Rising and all that good stuff.
Coming to see you,
this whole conversation is strange to me. And I'm more not discrediting what everyone was saying on here, but it's a great conversation. But to me, it's so simple. This world is over with as we know it. Just that simple. If you watched, again, the movie The Fifth Element, which is old, about 10, 15 years old, with Bruce Willis and Chris Tucker, they told you what this future is, and we're living it right now. There are a lot of sexually confused individuals, period. I don't like it, but that's just the way it is. It's the reality. And yes, for the record, we're having a conversation. You do gaslight. You do, Sharon. You do. You tend to move the goalposts a little bit, but that's fine. It's cool, but you do that. Of course, we all, if we in the park or walking down the street, no matter what, we always prejudge anybody. If I see a guy or two gentlemen walking down the street, unfortunately, my color, with a hoodie on, with their pants sagging, I'm going to look at them crazy. I'm going to look at them till they get past me and then play it off and spit like I got to spit behind me and see what they're doing. No difference when I see a guy hanging around the park with a lot of kids. My first impression, don't think that guy is a pervert. Now, if he's there all day, I'm going to recognize it. Obviously, I'm going to pay attention to him, but that's not my first assumption. Oh, he's a pervert. But I am keen on that situation. Now, let's bring it more realistically. That's why they got family restrooms now. There's 3 restrooms now: men, women, and family. The one in the middle is for all them sexually confused individuals. I don't mean to sound to make it seem derogatory, but that's just the truth. We have to just get used to it. It is what it is. I'm glad I don't have any kids where I have a child, but she's 28. I'm glad I don't have any kids where I got to confuse them on, Daddy, I am your son, right? Well, why this girl thinks she a boy? I'm glad I ain't got to go through that in school. I'm glad. But this is where we at now. And I'm landing the plane. But you can't get around it. That's just what it is. Now, as far as the sexuality part, let me say this. This finna be touchy, and I know I'm finna get some feedback and some pushback. When you in your bedroom with your significant other, this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's true. If you're in the bedroom with your significant other and you the male, and your female does something to you that you were not expecting, and in your mind, it might seem a little gay or a little questionable, but you enjoyed it. Does that change your sexuality? Do you keep that within you and your spouse? That's within your bedroom? Or do you feel a lot of men are doing that and don't want to admit it? Some men like fingers up their butt from their significant other. Do that make them gay? So that's the question that somebody brought up earlier. People are who they are, but don't want to admit it and stand on their square, and I'm landing my plane.
You are absolutely, listen, let me tell you something. And we had this conversation not too long ago too. If you are doing the things that a man does to a woman and that's being done to you as a man, you really need to do some reevaluation into what you are actually attracted to. There is nothing that my woman would do to me that I would do to her.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. But does it matter though? If it's in your bedroom, I hear what you're saying, and that's your belief, and you have every right to your belief. That's fine. That's your house. Do you? But just in case something happened, and you're like, damn, whoa, and you enjoyed it, but that's in your house. Who business is that? I'm just asking the question. I'm serious. Who business is that?
That's
it ain't nobody's business as long as you don't put it out there. But once you put it on Front Street, it's everybody's business then.
All right,
and
so let me ask you this, Otis.
You are tending to do things and put it out in the public for exception or for what's the word I'm looking for? Well, to be accepted or to just be out there. To me, that's where it's wrong. I don't like that. Keep it within your house.
I'll just say this, Otis.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
just say this. I'm a man through and through, and my woman know that she just knows that it would not happen that way. We would have a big problem.
Are
Yeah.
you less than a man, Otis?
I'm sorry.
Are you less than a man when you do? Because that's what Truth is kind of hinting to when he say I'm a man through and through. Are you less than a man, even though these things?
Got you. In my opinion, and this is a good conversation. We need to talk about this. In my opinion, damn, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. I'm being honest. I'm being honest because does sexuality makes you a man, or does having a penis does having a penis make you a man? That's the question.
Let me make sure I make myself clear. People that love the same sex, I still consider them a men. I said you need to evaluate what you are attracted to. That's what I said.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
So
I got you.
So you consider a bi guy?
He's not bi. He's gay.
Okay.
Also, you don't see a difference. Okay,
that.
I got you. To you in your mind, I feel the same way. There's no difference between being bi and gay. You either heterosexual or you gay.
Yes.
Got you. And I do feel that way. I don't believe in that bi.
What happens is we have, just like now, we come up with these new terms. You know, we reevaluate and come up with new things as we go along to make things more comfortable for ourselves. But it's only you either like the same sex or you like the opposite sex. It's one or the other. What happens is people are afraid to say that, hey,
Are you saying that there's no way humans can like both though? Because that's wrong.
So no, what he's saying is that no, he's not saying that you can't like both, but he's saying that if you like both, that is gay. That's what he's saying.
Correct.
Okay.
He's saying it's not like, whatever he's saying, that you just need to understand what you are sexually attracted to is what True is saying. True is saying the same thing I'm saying. Just know what you are into. And this is why I even had the conversation, because I think men need to be more open about what they are attracted to. So this way women won't be so confused.
True that. I got you.
And that's why I brought up the conversation between about Saucy Santana, Sydney Starr, Wayne Brady. People need to be more open about who they are, so this way they need to stop lying to these women, because some women are all for you being whoever you are, and they want to do whatever it is that you like sexually. They are willing to do it. There's women out there for that. You need to go be with those type of women, and leave the straight women that is strictly straight to people like me and True.
Oh, that's never gonna happen.
Me too. What you mean?
Imagination.
And old is what I'm saying, but I didn't want to say everybody the piano, but you know what I'm saying? Leave it to the people.
I get what you're saying. Yes, I get what you're yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So this way it's no more confusion, because too many people are confused and they think that they are getting attacked. So if you are saying that you are attracted to Sydney Starr, then you are attracted to both sexes.
Oh my God.
Okay. Why are you saying, oh my, I don't understand why you saying, oh my God. But you feel a certain way because, okay, so clearly because when I say that, y'all think of fatty. Clearly, that's what you think, because he ain't the only man or only male in the world that says this about that said individual.
Well, he's the only one that we know specifically. No, you're thinking of that man because you're using a specific person that is related to him, like you. So let's not, come on, bro. That's crazy. You just windmill don't be like that.
Yo,
that's
what's
crazy
to me is that if I describe something.
You could just say trans women.
If I describe something and a certain name pops up in your head, that is not my fault,
bro.
True. Am I wrong about? Hold on. Let me ask somebody else, because maybe I could be wrong. I could be off, and I could accept.
All I did was giggle, bro. I mean, like,
no, you did not. You said.
I said,
true.
Man.
No, this time, Sharon, I think he was genuine.
Hey, True, if I describe something to a T and a certain name or face pops up in your mind when I describe that, is that my fault?
No.
That's all I'm saying, y'all.
But that's not what we're talking about. In this situation where y'all both going back and forth.
The reason why we are talking about it is because we are talking about a progression of a conversation. It started with, so City Star been going around and she been saying, or he be saying, that straight men been hiring at her for a long time. And me, in truth, we would say that those men are not straight. That's what we would say. That's what we would say. However, in today's society is all open for discussion and say, oh, that person's just a little whatever the case is. But me and True say, hey, if you are into that, then you are on that side of the street. If you are Gilbert Arena saying that if you was in a goddamn strip club, it didn't matter if it was a man or a woman stripping, you would throw the money to say it just depends on who dancing the best. That sounds queer to me. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even though I described it and you think of Gilbert Arenas, that's not my fault. You thought of Gilbert Arenas, right? If I didn't use his name, because he just recently said that.
Hey, Sharon, I'm gonna say this too.
You understand the truth? I don't know why they keep trying to act like I'm trying to paint something on somebody. I'm not.
Yeah,
the shoe fits, it's not my fault that the shoe fits.
Yeah, I'll say this too. As far as, you know, being mistakable about trans women, for me, this is why I say it's a bigger underlying problem with inside that individual. It's nowhere in the world that I look at that dude, and I'm sorry, I'm always going to call them what they are originally are. That star dude, I did not see a woman, bro. I did not see anything that looked like a woman enough. I can instantly tell when you actually love women, when you love them, you know what they are. And you know nothing can recreate. I don't care what surgeon do what
That's
to
facts,
a
true
body.
facts.
You cannot recreate a woman. They are too beautiful. Too
Facts.
beautiful. So I would never be confused by that. What happens is a lot of guys are, this is why I say this perversion, bro. When you are perverted, it perverts your mind to singular a woman just to her breast and her behind. And what happens is you don't look at their walk, their cadence. You know, a woman, the way you can tell a woman in the military when they have on a suit, they got a switch in their hip. That's how you can tell. Like no matter how geared up they is, you can't get that out of. Women have that. And that's why I said everything that God created in them, they just so beautiful. It's unmistakable.
So
when you
beautiful.
don't understand or know or love women like that, yeah, that stuff is going to confuse you. It's going to confuse the crap out of you.
Damn, that was a lot of gas.
I want to shout out to Jabba because I really appreciate that. He said, to be fair, I was not thinking about Fatty when Sydney name is brought up. Because Fatty is heterosexual. I think Darius when Sydney name is brought up. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a
so
fact.
Therefore, if I'm describing something and a name pops up in your mind, that is you, not me. That's all I am saying. So the same conversation popped up, and that individual did not pop up in said person's mind. That is wild to me that y'all keep trying to blame it on me. It ain't me. It's you. You thought of that person. It don't got nothing to do with me. Welcome to the show, PhD. But how you doing? This is crazy.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Happy Brownsville. Good morning.
Peace and love, Queen.
Hey, PhD.
Okay, so what are you all talking about? When I
Man, this conversation got crazy, PhD. But they trying to put things on me that I didn't put on other people. All I was talking about was Wayne Brady coming out as a pansexual. He said ever since he came out as a pansexual, he said, sorry, ladies, I didn't know how serious it was, but I'm getting a whole bunch of eggplant DMs all of a sudden. So I feel for y'all. I understand. And he said he's getting DMs from all types of human beings. Right. So what I'm saying is that because he came out as he don't care what the human being is or what body part they have, he's willing to accept them as they are, but still he's not getting any turned down from any sex. So I'm saying that men need to be more open about their sexuality because it is a woman or a human being out there for you that's willing to deal with whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
Stop being ashamed of yourself.
Right.
And if you like Sydney Star, you like Sydney Star.
And yes, then I would like to get your perspective on the Planet Fitness incident.
What happened at Planet Fitness?
So before we get into the Planet Fitness, so PZ, so what's your thoughts on that so far? Do we not know that we hear women tell you this all the time on these panels that it is men asking them to do some strange things to strange parts of their body?
Yes. And unsolicited. I've even had men from these panels send me unsolicited pictures that I was just like, no, thank you. But so why men think that that's okay? I don't know. Especially, given that, like he was saying, they just hop in his inbox with it or his DMs with it. So he doesn't really even know the person. And so why men think it's okay to lead with their body parts is that's just kind of strange to me. And like, I just wonder what they hope to get out of it.
Absolutely. So now with the Planet Fitness thing is that so a man was in a female's locker room shaving. A grandmother and his daughter, a grandmother and her daughter was in it. She was 12 years old while he was in a bathroom shaving, and then she called the people that's running Planet Fitness to get him up out of here, and they said they cannot do anything about it because he considered himself a part of that community.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so I think we are playing into a lot of people's mental illness, right? And we're trying to act like it's not mental illness.
Yep.
Feels more like though.
Yep.
Yeah. So I honestly, because the thing is, and especially we really focus on the men to women or the male to women people. You rarely hear anything about the female to men people, right? Because they're not bulls in a china shop. They don't go in and try to move people out the way so they can take their place. They do them. They want to live their lives. And so it just shows just how male these people are in their thinking, right? That I take precedence and I'm supposed to be able to move people out of my way and everyone make way for me. And so again, I just think it's a bunch of mentally ill people that what's that saying, the inmates are running the asylum or something like that. So
Correct,
this is what we're coming to in society today.
Question: are we trying to complain or change our way out of what's actually happening? Because I don't think it's going to change. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We are in the transgender world now. This is it.
Exactly.
I honestly believe that men like myself are being degraded. Not degraded. We're downsizing. There's just not a lot of us anymore. It's not. The heterosexual classification is slowly shrinking, and it's right in front of our eyes. Now, I don't like it, but that's just the reality of it. I'm aware of who I am, and I'm standing on that. But the world around us, there is a lot of sexually confused individuals that want to be accepted. That's why that man was in the bathroom doing what he's doing, and the police came and they couldn't do anything. So that should tell you a whole lot. So we just have a lot of heterosexual men just upset now because we feel like we are diminishing in numbers. And honestly, we are. But it is what it is. Just hold truth to what you have. But you can't change it. Unfortunately, these kids that are being raised right now, they are being raised to accept and believe who they want to be. So if you think if you were born with a penis and you feel you a woman or a female, that's what they want to go with. Unfortunately, I don't agree with that because it is a mental thing, but they're not even addressing it. They just want to believe it. Boom. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to stay in my little cubicle. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to accept everyone. Just don't force your lifestyle on me because this is where we at, unfortunately. Just don't force it on me. I see you.
Can I ask you one question, Otis?
Yes.
Should we use one scenario where someone uses their plight in a negative light to then castrate all of them? Because like just a minute ago, Brownsville was like,
don't move past the question. Hold on, don't move past the question. Like you moving past but you're moving past the question.
I was just about to give an example. I was about to ask
you don't need it. We are not. Listen. I don't know why y'all think that we are stupid, that we need examples to a question. We do not need examples to a question. Ask your question and let us Like if you want to make a statement, then make a statement and then ask your question. But you cannot do it the opposite way. You cannot ask a question
you can't
and
tell
then make a
somebody
statement.
how to.
I'm just giving you communication. Hold on. I'm giving you communication advice, right? And that's all. If you want to make your statement first and then you ask the question. You don't do it the other way around, because once you ask a question, people are more liable to jump in and interject because you asked a question. So anyway, so let's answer the question.
Remember the question, Otis?
No, I really don't, because all that talking.
All right.
That's what happens.
So
but
I was going to say, should we, after what you just said, should we use one situation where someone uses their plight in a negative way to then blame and then say things that seem kind of pitch and fork type, like we need to protect all women based off of this 2% occurrence?
I got a question for you.
Think that's fair?
I got a question for you, Unlikely. When the Amber Alert was put into place, how many examples was it? Was it one?
What you mean? What does that mean?
When they implemented the Amber Alert into law, was it one case that they used? Yes or no?
No, they used a few cases and then
It's actually a great example. Sharon actually gave you
Amber Alert.
Yeah, Sharon actually gave you a great example, because this is something that doesn't happen often, but it's something that needs to be that everyone should be aware of. It is that serious that it's a problem that can be more paramount if we do not take the necessary precautions, especially the way the world is going.
Thank you for being
logical. Big problem.
So again, hold on. But before we move on, I wanna answer from Lee.
And it happened, and now they in the bathroom.
Hold on. We need to get some goddamn conceding going on.
All y'all do is talk.
Hold on, Lee. Do you not believe that the Amber Alert was off of one case? Yes or no?
No, I think it was based off.
Okay, cool. You don't think so, but do you?
I think the law was.
We are all here. Hold on. So the problem is that you are wrong.
Are you talking about the name? Yes, the name, the Amber Alert, was based off of one case, but the action was based off of that happening over a span and kids going up missing, and they're still coming up missing. So they just gave it one name, but it's based off of many cases. That's why you see Amber Alert still popping up. Your argument was absolutely pointless. Every time you see an Amber Alert, that's another case of the same thing happening, showing that it was created because it consistently happens.
I'm serious. What's wrong with his answer? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being very objective here. I mean, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I don't agree with him all the time with what Likely say. Like, I don't agree with everything that you say, Sharon, but I'm being honest here. What he just said.
So the question was, can we use one case? Can we use one case and say, hey, can we make a law about this one case? And one case was used for a law, which is called now the Amber Alert. So anytime this happens, anytime this happens,
he basically saying I was the first kid that ever got kidnapped.
Right.
That's basically what he's saying. He don't even understand what he.
That's not what he's saying.
That is what he's saying. Off that, he's saying based off that one case, like as if it didn't happen a million times before then. What is he talking about?
And that's the point of this conversation. Just because this is the first time. Well, not even the first time. This is one incident that has been highlighted. That's not the first time. There's so many instances. I just gave you one in the jail.
Finally was like, let's call it this case because this case was probably the most gruesome.
I just gave you one in the jail. I just gave you one in the jail.
Can I ask Sharon, because we're not getting anywhere with this? Let me ask Sharon. Let's get straight to the point, because it's going nowhere. What was your point in asking that question so we can get straight to it?
Because Lee said, can we use one incident and use that as the catalyst for the conversation or catalyst for a law? And the answer is yes, you can.
And my position is this, PH Diva.
Yes, sir.
If that was you and
wait,
your
before we move forward, because I'm tired of nobody conceding tonight. We just move conversations forward.
He's not gonna concede, Sharon.
No, we are
I agree.
Somebody gotta say no.
I agree, Sharon. I agree.
No, we cannot just keep moving conversations forward like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Otis.
You talking about me or
yes,
Likely?
Otis. Do you understand?
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I hear what you're saying. We're not finna argue, but I hear what you're saying, though. I don't agree with it, though. We fine.
You got to be okay with that, Sharon. You got to be okay with that.
No, because
we're
the
not
thing
going to
is,
come to a consensus.
No, the problem why we can't. The problem why we
instance
can't be
in the bathroom. I'm sorry. The instance in the bathroom isn't the first and only time that's happened, right?
Correct.
Right. So it's been many different instances. So if somebody took that instance in the bathroom that y'all just used and said, hey, we got to push for reform, and took that all the way through, and they were able to come up with a law that would address that issue, and it might be called whoever the grandmama or the child was in that, instance, right? It's still the same thing. That's what he's talking about. You could use this. So we're taking this one instance, but that's not the only instance in which that has occurred. There have been many examples of, right. So that's what he's trying to point out.
Yeah, that's what Sharon was saying.
Okay, let me say this. I didn't understand the way.
All right, so now that PhD put it. So now, hold on. So now I want to know this. So now you concede with the point, correct?
Yes, that makes sense.
So therefore, now I understand that we always got to get PhD Diva to put y'all niggas.
You funny. You funny.
Explain your point better. That's all. And it's different interpretations. That's all.
For real. All right, so I'm glad on all seriousness that I'm glad that we got to, because sometimes it is a communication barrier. Sometimes people just do not want the other person to be correct. And that's just what it is. Y'all just don't want me to be correct. Y'all want to challenge me, even if I'm right. This is what's happened a lot.
No,
it happens very often. Like, y'all do not challenge my actual words. What y'all say is that Sharon moves the goalposts. Sharon paint narratives instead of using what I actually said to prove y'all point. This is the issue that I'm be having. It's okay to be wrong to me, because this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. I do not talk about things that I do not understand. So when you go against me and I'm talking about something, you most likely behind the 8 ball. Just to let y'all know.
That's cocky and crazy to say, but I feel you.
It's called self-reflection. That I understand my strength and my weaknesses. So when y'all talk about something that I don't know, I shut up. And I listen and I learn.
It's still a terrible point, because they put in a law with that situation, and this situation, they actually passed a law that went against what the heterosexual man would want, and allowed those women to still be able to go into those bathrooms. So while we sit here and we complain and we whine about it, there's a law that allows them to go in there, and like Brownsville's even said, there was nothing nobody could fucking do.
Right. And here's the reason.
Before we move on, I need y'all to understand. Hold on, before y'all move on, I need y'all to understand this tactic. That is a different topic.
What's the different topic? There you go.
But listen,
Brownsville, right? No, it's not your turn.
No, hold on. Now we need to start understanding how we need to communicate. It is okay. Like what he just said right there is correct, but it's a different topic. Like, do not just try to make yourself right by changing the topic. Is all I'm saying. Like, concede to a point, say, you know what? I have to reevaluate. I got to do some reflection and say, oh, you know what? You was correct about the way how you assess that. And now, but this is what I want to talk about now, and which you will be corrected. And I could concede and say, yes, with what you just said, that is correct. But the shit that we were just talking about was 2 different things. Go ahead, Brownsville. The fuck?
So, based on law, right? Laws, we have to understand one thing. Laws change all the time due to unintended consequences, right? So the unintended consequences of them passing that law to make it legal for that gentleman to enter into that female bathroom is that woman and children are now feeling violated because they do not feel safe in what should be a safe place for them in that establishment, right? So the more those type of incidents come out, that's going to lead as a catalyst to change the law or modify it in such a way to give everyone protection. So that's what we got to understand when we're talking about legalities, right? Sometimes they pass a law and it has unintended consequences, and now they have to correct it and fix it so that our women and children feel safe.
Brownsville, you naive as that thing, and I love you. No homo. They're not going to change their law. They're doing exactly what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. They're making it more convenient and comfortable and accessible for the LGBT community, period, because that's the new wave. That's exactly what's going on, and you can't do anything about it because they're lobbyists, and the laws are geared towards them. We are a dying breed where it comes to heterosexuals. Period. Yes. That's what I believe.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I see you like more comfortable for them. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yes, it's more comfortable for them. They're trying to make it more accessible, and that's what's going on. And I don't think that we're going to be able to stop it. That's their agenda.
Do you think that women have had a right in this law being passed in some way or form?
Did women have a right?
Same women that they're impeding on? Yeah.
To me, that's irrelevant. I don't want to answer that question because that's irrelevant. I'm going on what's going on right now.
To answer it because she's a woman.
No, but it doesn't matter. The lawmakers are the lawmakers. It don't matter who decided what.
Right.
Like the Asian people that got the law bill passed against them when they was getting targeted. It don't matter who. If it was a bunch of black people that passed the law.
So there's no voting in law.
It doesn't. What I'm saying, it doesn't matter. People came together and said, you know what, this makes sense. They seen it in writing. They read what was written in the law, and they said this makes sense.
But what y'all are not,
hold on. This is the craziest part.
What y'all are not understanding, right, is that when they passed the law, they did not take the sanctity and security of women in account. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the women are saying, right? Because men, we're gonna feel safe regardless. We can go to a men's bathroom, we're gonna feel safe. But the problem is the females, the women are not feeling safe. And those are the unintended consequences that they did not consider and that they're going to have to reconsider eventually. PH Diva, am I
hold up, Brownsville? Hey, I'm going to let you go right in. I'm going to let you go right back in. I'm going to let him go right back in. I just got to say something. Don't say we always feel safe. Some come in there and they change themselves up. I ain't feeling safe in there.
You are not.
And that's brown. And that's brown.
So now that's fair to say that maybe we gotta rewrite the law and say, hey, we gotta come back to the drawing board and say, hey, things are happening that we did not see before because we was looking at this thing in only good faith. We didn't think about the bad faith characters that's in this thing. This is what most homosexual people would say, that it's a lot of bad faith characters using our plight to do their evil deeds. This is what's happening. So they're using their fight to do their evil deeds.
So I just want to ask this one question. I just need a yes or no answer. Does it take a few bad apples to spoil a bunch?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So then all the narratives that they push in our country about black men, they're right to do that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, True. Sharon keep acting like he don't understand what I'm doing there, but it's y'all doing the same thing. They go get a few bad apples. Turn your news on. Turn your news on if you don't believe me. And that right there is how they paint the narrative for most African Americans in the country.
But the problem is, me and Sharon already talked about this part.
I wanted to make sure.
I believe that majority of men are bad.
Right, and it's just
I don't like it, but I get your point.
So only thing is that it's a completely different conversation, and I don't
know a different conversation.
What the?
It's a few bad apples spoiling a bunch.
What me and Sharon is saying in a whole. Okay, well, dag, Sharon, hold on.
Like so, now, like it's understandable what Lee is saying, right? Like he's using race and now sexuality as the same thing, where those are two different things, and we understand that they are two different things.
No, it's not. I'm using when someone does something negative.
It's two different things, man.
Yo,
two different
what
things.
the?
Yeah, it's two different
crazy,
things.
yo. No. Y'all not gonna.
All right, so hold on, Lee,
disingenuous.
before you go and explain. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to explain. I want to make sure we have so. Me, Brownsville, and Truth think they are two different things. Otis, do you think it is two different things between sexuality and race? Do you think it's different?
Just that question alone, yes, of course it's different. It's different.
Okay.
But for the record, don't get mad. Don't get mad at me because there's always a
now we're gonna let
Lee
Lee explain his. his ideology. Go ahead, Lee.
And Otis, what's crazy is it is different, but that's how they're able to move the goalposts. I'm speaking to when we find something bad about one person and then we blow it up and make it like, yo, this is what they do. That's all I'm speaking on. And now, since he hears what I'm using, because I could use a different one that doesn't make it about race, right? I can use a different analogy, and then you won't have that. But ultimately, what I'm speaking of is how we use. Because I also asked before: is it 51% of trans women going into these bathrooms making people feel weird? Nobody answered that question, right?
Or
So
more like
I got it. Hey, Sharon, I got it. I know how to explain it to him.
Trust me,
Okay,
I
if you just want to win an argument, see, you just want to win. If you just want to talk to, I'm not talking about you, Sharon. He cut me off. Listen, that's all I'm saying. But we don't want to make that argument. We want to move the goalposts to try to make us not seem like the pitchfork holders. And I don't want to be the pitchfork holder. And y'all trying to be the pitchfork holders. And then y'all try to attack men and go, oh, you don't want to protect women. Man, I'll kill you if you come next to my girl. Come try it.
All right, so check this out.
So all that attacking that y'all do when y'all try to flip the narrative, when overall we just trying to say, yo, we ain't trying to be pitchfork holders. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so check this out. I'll make this quick. All right, so for me, majority of our men are bad. So because of that construct, now follow me from here. Because of majority of men are already bad, that trans man that's turning into a trans woman, to me, that's still, if he was a bad man, he's a bad trans woman now. Do you follow me now? So that bad perverted person.
I kind of stopped listening once you said that you believe most men are bad. What the? But go ahead. Wow.
Yeah. Most men are bad. Like, I'll give you an example. We can be real. I've seen.
Don't get an example. Don't get an example. Just go to your point because
I was about to give him an example of himself.
I love Lee. Fucked me up.
Damn.
I mean, like, it's constant propaganda against men. It's ridiculous. Most men are bad. Yo, can I ask you this truth real quick? Are most women bad?
This is honestly a great question. Don't talk, just listen. Why every time Surrounded Browser advocate for women and children, the so-called straight men have so much pushback on the other side? It is a little strange sometimes.
It's crazy, Sharon. It's wild, and that's only on YouTube. I've never seen that in real life.
Well, let me explain it to you, Brownsville. It's called having a conversation. Someone has to play the devil's advocate and take on the other side so we can just not all seem like one big Brady bunch just talking about the same damn thing. God, shit. People are fucking.
So and also, me the question.
Can I piggyback on what Likely just said?
I don't know what my belief is.
I agree.
We asked you, but go ahead, Otis.
I agree with majority of the married men are saying on here, the Brownsvilles, who was what's name? I'm sorry, True Love and Sharon. Trust me, I do. But it's certain things that, in my opinion, that Brownsville, for lack of a better phrase, and for YouTube excitement, he put on that cape for the women too hard, and he says a lot of. What's the word I'm trying to say? He likes to just hype them up on pedestals without giving true real life analogies to me. Right. He likes to cape them up, make them feel good. They can't do no wrong, all that BS. But I understand what he's saying. He's, to me and Sharon, they don't bring the reality to me, in my opinion. But I love them and I understand what they're saying because we all married. But I understand what Unlikely is saying. You're caped too hard for the women, and they could speak for themselves. They don't need your assistance, especially with the women who say that they're independent and they don't need a man and yada yada.
Hold on.
Speak for themselves. I don't need y'all to.
I had a whole show. Hold on. I had a whole show talking about how women are being more of the characters that is dealing with young kids, SAing young children in the school system. I had a whole show. The whole show was about that.
What they got to do with what I just said?
It shows that you are telling untruths. And then I also not too long ago, I had a whole show about the toxic traits of women.
Okay,
and I kept it directly on women and say they bad traits.
So this is where I gotta agree with Otis on this.
We somehow went to a different conversation not too long ago. I believe it was yesterday when I was saying the things that women need to move and how they need to move to get the set man that they are looking for. And guess what happened? So this is the narrative pushing is amazing to me.
Hey, Sharon, on this one, I have to agree with Otis on that.
Instead of going with the words that I say, I go down the middle. When I'm talking about bad women, I'm talking about bad women. But somehow, if I'm talking about the good women, y'all want to refer back into bad character women. And that is the problem I have. When we having a conversation about bad women, let's keep the conversation of those women. And when we having a conversation on good women, because which we all do agree that they exist and they need to be protected, they need to be spoke about. The problem is a lot of men are only focused on bad character women, and that's why they can't see.
I focus on the majority.
It's enough people out there talking about bad character women, so I do not need to jump on the bandwagon and just pander to men and tell them about all women are bad. If you want
majority of men are bad, the majority of women are bad too.
Hold on, I'm talking, goddammit. Y'all can have your time. If you want to be, if you want that content, it's plenty of it out there. I don't need to talk about all the bad character women every single day. It's content, plenty of it out there. So why do I need to hone in on strictly bad character women?
No, you don't.
I do not deal with bad character women in my life at all. Even when I'm in the projects, I don't deal with bad character women.
What the projects got to do with anything?
Absolutely nothing, PhD, and that's what I'm talking about. I like to stay on track and stay on topic. So therefore, if you want to just speak about bad character women, that is fine. I get it. I understand, but I don't have to hone in on bad character women all the time, every single day.
Most women
I can focus on the women that y'all are scared to talk about.
Yes, likely.
Yes. To talk about good character women all the time. Truth got a good character woman. Otis have a good character woman. Brownsville have a good character woman. Unlike Lee,
my woman is different.
So, right, and she is different. And so why we cannot just talk about the nuances and say like they are out there, but it's going to take a certain type of man. You got to be a certain type of human being to even see them in your purview.
It's a Robbie going on.
Excuse me, sir. Everything you just said, Sharon.
Before you go, let me just read the super chats.
Let me read the super chats, Sharon.
Go ahead.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Sheesh.
It's me, Dr. G. You do not have to play the devil's advocate. Just tell the truth. Thank you, sir.
She's talking to you, Sharon.
Sin 7 sin. Stay on X degraded X neck. Don't talk, just listen. Don't talk, just listen. Became a YouTube member. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Go ahead, Otis.
Everything that you said prior to the PhD reading the super chats, I agree with what you were saying. I have no issue with that. I'm going to stick to what I said about my good friend Brownsville. I know Brownsville is a good man. I have no doubt about that. I feel it. No BS. I know he's a good man. The issue I have was not really an issue, but for lack of a conversation, the issue I have with Brownsville, he seems to speak for the women a lot when I just feel in my opinion, in my heart, that the women can speak for themselves. And he come on here and he always caping for the woman, making it seem like the man is not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, for the record, he's right. Let me say that. Most men do not do what they're supposed to do. I agree with that. But in my mind, in this realm that we're in, we have strong personalities like PH Diva. We have strong personalities like Happy. We have a lot of strong personalities within the chat for as women are concerned. And a lot of those women don't feel, or I feel like they don't need a man to step up and cape for them based on their ideology and based on how they carry themselves and based on how they feel like they want to be independent. So that's the issue I have. Let them speak for themselves and we can have a true, honest debate. Unless you're just speaking on behalf of your wife, then that's totally different. But don't speak for the whole women. And I land the plane.
I want to jump in and let PhD. The problem is women that are doing all the right things, they are scared to speak up because men treat those women the same as the bad characters. We see it all the time. The women that resonate feminine, wait to be spoken to, y'all treat them the fucking same. And they feel like they don't have no goddamn
That
protection.
is true.
And they feel
That
like they
is
have
true.
no protection in these space. So therefore, you don't get none of the good characters come up and have a conversation. Because then when they start talking, y'all want to call them pick-me's, and then the men agree with them. And say, oh, she just a pick-me. That ain't true. And y'all want to say that they are liars. And so when you got people like Brownsville, Truth, and me up here saying, like, no, ladies, it's okay. We got your back. And the ones that are doing the right things, we are going to big you up as much as we can. It is okay. And stop trying to get us to just hone in on the bad characters because they're not really in our life like that. And we make sure we make sure the bad character women are not in our life. And you got to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional about the people that you allow in your life. And I respond to Otis. And I want to get PhD in there because I know she want to get something in there. There we go, Brownsville, True Love. Make sure y'all support and show. All my ladies, show your love. Send a $1 bill in the air. Go ahead, PhD Diva. All my good ladies, send a $1 bill in the air. Go ahead, PhD Diva.
So I just wanted to address what Otis said. So, Otis, I think it's disingenuous of you to tell Brownsville, you know, that he's trying to speak for women when you up here trying to think for women. Just because you think that me and Happy have strong personalities and we can speak for ourselves, if we don't have a problem with what he's saying on our behalf, then you certainly shouldn't have a problem, right? So you don't get to think for us and tell us we can speak for ourselves. So if you want, you can't. Amen. Right. I mean, it doesn't even make sense logically, and y'all supposed to be the superior logic people to tell somebody, don't speak for them, but I'm going to think for them, right? Yeah, so just clean it up, sir. Go ahead, Brownsville. No, Brownsville, go ahead. I can see my side. The Brownsville.
You'll get your chance, Otis. I guarantee you. I want Brownsville to jump in there. Truth is love, and Otis would clean up everything that whatever he feel is opposite that we are mischaracterizing him on. Go ahead, Brownsville. Truth and love, Otis.
Now, Otis, right? You characterize me as a person who capes for women, right? And I'm honored to wear that cape. Okay. So just call me Superman from now on. I'm honored to wear that cape.
Captain Sable.
One out here that is willing to
Brownsville, hold on. Let me play your music first. Hold on.
Yeah, play the
Go ahead, Brownsville.
I'm honored to wear a cape that signifies protection and defense of all women, right? And I'm gonna tell you why, Otis. Because since I've been coming to my cousin's YouTube channel, I've witnessed a lot of atrocities towards women and children right here on this platform by several men, right? I also just a few days ago witnessed a whole bunch of content creators with large audiences on the stage, and one of the questions asked was, do women have any value outside of their vagina? And half the panel said no. Okay, so when you have malcontents and these guys out there who are willing to disrespect women, willing to denigrate women at any turn, in every turn, as a man that has a mother, grandmother, a wife, a daughter, I take offense to that. I believe women are to be protected, and I believe it is the job of a man to protect women and children, right? And any decent man, any good man, any honorable man, any man with integrity would feel the same way. But you know what happens? the men will come at you and say, well, you know what? You caping too hard, brother. And that is the problem. It's men like you, Otis. I concede my time.
You are caping though. For you
Go
to
ahead,
sit here
go
and
ahead.
say,
So go ahead, truth. We're gonna go truth, Otis, and unlikely. So this way we can even it out on the opposite side. Go ahead,
let me
truth,
write this down.
Otis, and unlikely.
Yeah. So what I will say is this: I said this not too long ago. I said I've been in this space for 4 years, and from last summer till now, my consensus has kind of changed because I realized the men here aren't like me and they do not want the same things I want. The problem that I am having, that's not going to stop me from saying that individuals, male or female, if they exhibit certain behaviors, I'm still going to call them what they are. Now, the problem what I will say this is women do not have proper leadership in front of them. And that is on the front door of men. That is why they behave the way they do. Regardless whether I'm with a woman or not, I'm going to be a man always. Always. Because I was raised by men. So and this is the thing, a lot of these people a lot of dudes in these spaces, I realized too, at the passing of KS, a lot of dudes didn't have a father because they went crazy once he passed away. They was heartbroken. And they found leadership in that because they lack leadership. They look forward to some of the things that they were starting to hear from him. I've heard it my whole life. This was nothing new. I thought this was the norm, and then I sat back and I'm like, well, dang, like it's a bigger problem. And then when I thought men here they wanted marriage. No, I found out all they just wanted some daggone ass, and they having trouble with that. So, those type of problems I haven't had, so I don't understand that part. The part that I understand that we have a bigger problem is trying to come together as families, and first and foremost, we need leadership. And a lot of dudes they are saying, "Well, what about the women?" No, I'm gonna be a man first, and then if she doesn't acquiesce, she dips it. That's it. Let's get her out the way. Put that right in a little box. Where the decent women at? Decent women like Brownsville. And now this is where I will kind of part ways with you, Brownsville. I'm not here for all women. I'm here for the decent ones. I will die for the decent ones. I will lay my life down like I expect a man that will lay his life down for my daughter. Because I raised a decent woman, young lady. And she understands the ploy of being respectable to all men. He is under that guideline. So she does not go around disrespecting men. Absolutely not. Why? Because she was raised by one. That's the problem we have.
Perfect. Beautiful. Beautifully said. And now, without paying no notice, because I almost did. Go ahead, Otis, and unlikely.
Now, please go.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Otis.
It won't be long. I promise you. I want to respond to PH Diva and actually the last three individuals that just spoke. I'm going to make myself clear as possible. In my mind right now, I'm going to just pick two different types of women. The strong, independent woman that I believe PH Diva is. No more synonyms, no nothing. Strong, independent woman. She believes what she believes. We all heard her on this panel. We know how she feels and thinks. And the woman that I'm married to. Two different type of women. The woman that I'm married to
cussed you out last week or cussed us out last week. Yeah, don't do it. Do not do it, sir. We heard your woman screaming and cursing, so you're not going to sit up here and try to act like she's some demure, damsel in distress. No, we're not doing that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because we heard her cussing folks out.
Let them finish.
Like I was
please.
saying.
Yeah.
Like I was saying.
Where's she at? I'm
two
sorry.
type of women. PH Diva, can I please get this out? Because I did not interrupt you, and I'm so serious now. Could
you
please?
Interrupt everybody else, so stop it.
Wow. See, this is why I say what I say. See, now I can't keep my decorum. So now I got to go YouTube. Here we go. This is why I say the shit I say, because when I let you stop, not let you, we let you speak uninterrupted. We let you get your stuff out. But now when I'm speaking, which I know you're afraid of my voice and what I'm saying, that's why you keep interrupting me. But if you wasn't,
Otis.
you would allow me to
Nobody's
speak.
afraid of you. You got a speech
why won't you shut up and
impediment,
let me
sir.
speak?
You got a
Why won't
speech
you be quiet and let
impediment.
me
What are
speak
we
then?
afraid of your voice for?
Well, why won't you be quiet and let me
I
speak
want to
then?
send you the speech lessons.
Go ahead.
Right, let him get it. Let him get it out.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. Go ahead, Unlikely. I want to talk to someone that wants me to speak. Go ahead, Unlikely.
All right, man. Damn, I'm sorry, guy. You got cut off like that. That's crazy. I just wanted to say, man, this conversation, when we had these conversations, it just sounds like, you speaking like the woman's life is worth more than a man's.
Wow.
When in reality, I believe that they're equally valuable. Y'all the ones trying to pull the power further into one direction. I'm trying to balance the power. Men created everything y'all see before y'all. Men have made y'all lives stable, convenient, and just. And I don't believe that most humans are bad. I believe most humans are good. Most men are good, and most women are good. And both lives matter equally. So all this crashing out and talking about we need to protect women at all costs. I need to protect my specific women and my life at all costs. So please, men, take them capes off, because the moment you laying on your back, she gonna go on and go finish doing whatever she was doing. Your life mattered too. That's it.
An independent woman don't need a man speaking
Okay,
for
it's
him.
Michael.
An independent woman don't need a man speaking for him. Period. If you're a woman,
Okay, well,
Be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
if you're a woman want to pay all your bills and all that, you don't need a man
We're
laying
doing
for you.
super chat, sir.
Let me
Super
pay
chat.
the bills.
Ed Unchained. There are no good women in these spaces, though. Ed, stop it. You was
Yo,
just being
every
my
time
friend.
that song come on, I get up and start dancing, yo. Every time.
I love it. Christian, shout out to Brownsville. That's right. Shout out to Brownsville. Ed Unchained, don't disrespect Tuxedo Mask like that, though. Who is Tuxedo Mask?
The one I just played.
You already read that. Stop double dipping.
The verbal assassin. Just Hirsch, Otis. The women love Brownsville. We get to decide if we want him to speak for us, not you.
Woo!
So, hey, Lee, this is so weak, bruh. Lee, I understand what you're saying. I know
Can
what
I
you're doing.
go now?
Go, Happy. Get him,
Go
Happy.
ahead, Happy. Get him, Happy. Go ahead, Happy.
Lee, get him. So, everybody on this panel, except for Unlikely, can kiss my ass.
Damn!
Wow, I didn't even say anything to you, motherfucker. But no, sir, I can't kiss your ass.
Let's not start cursing,
I'll stab
Happy.
your ass before I
Happy, let's
kiss
not
it
start
now.
cursing,
Fuck
Happy.
you.
Hold on, Happy. Don't start cursing. Go ahead, Happy. Speak your mind.
Look, he started with me for no reason.
You know what you did.
Funky ass. No, what he did. Fucker.
All right,
Exactly.
Happy.
Ain't nobody
Just
been
go
speak
ahead,
to you.
Happy.
He mad.
Happy. Do it without
You
cursing.
see?
Go ahead. Without cursing, please. Go ahead. I'm trying to
Okay, I will stab your behind before I kiss it. Don't you ever disrespect me like that, ho. Now, look, okay, now. You mad? You mad?
This is not high school. Can you talk?
We don't care that you upset,
These
bro.
the women you have in your panel. They can't make a logical statement. All they make is insults and cut people off. They can't explain themselves to a true, hard, honest
Can
man.
you, sir? You're pissed off. You know what? I'll be able to hear you when you calm down. You seem pretty pissed off today, sir. Anyway. Anyway, so okay, look, I wanted to say this. First of all, y'all talking about leadership. That didn't seem like no leadership.
Damn, y'all got Otis smoking.
That was the lack thereof. Okay? It's more than leadership that you guys lack. You quote unquote men up there on the panel.
Shit, more man bashing. Let me get out of
Otis,
here.
somebody with a hat on. I'm just saying I wasn't gonna say no names, but anyway, right? And then not only that, y'all think y'all old something up here. Like nobody has to actually listen to you. You understand what I'm saying? You do understand that this is not your panel. We don't come to see you, Otis. You should play that tomorrow.
He got that somebody.
And you can think whatever you want to think about me, baby. It's good. You see how just out of nowhere he just jumped out the window talking about I could kiss his behind. You see what I'm talking about? But y'all won't blame Happy for everything. But you know what it is? What it really is they don't like being wrong. When you call them out for their stuff, right? It's an issue. Now it's you're such a bad woman. Oh man, I would never like a woman like that. First of all, you don't know me, and you would never meet a woman like me either. You want to know why? Because you don't deserve it, motherfucker. Now, excuse me, MFer. My bad, Sharon. I'm trying to clean it up. But I just think MFers up here super funny, They're hilarious. Okay, y'all just don't like being wrong. And that's not our fault. And also another question, for the guy in the hat, the one that cut me off yesterday with his brother, right? Unlikely and all that yesterday. Wasn't y'all doing that to me? Now, I just really want to know, how does it feel? Not a PhD, but did it do it? Oh, you didn't like it, huh? You about to blow a gasket, my guy? You upset, ain't you? Right? You pissed off. Look at you. You couldn't even stop. Oh, you couldn't even contain yourself. What happened to your brother?
Oh my gosh.
But wait, and she didn't even say nothing. Like, she just cut you off simply. But you know what? I got jumped by both you men yesterday. Y'all just kept cutting me off. I barely got to speak, right? But this is what you did yesterday. Now, when it happened to you today, you can't stand it. But like I said, there you go. Talking about that leadership, right? That these women are lacking. Yeah, because you men don't have any. Y'all not no leaders. Put that.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Happy.
Go
ahead,
Thank
Otis.
You.
Please. Hopefully, we can let Otis get his full thought out. Go ahead, Otis. Please.
For the record, I know we're just having fun, but for the record, I'm serious. I do respect you and PhD, but I really do. We're just having fun here, but I do mean what I'm about to say. When I'm trying to say something serious, you cut me off. That just led me believe that I'm about to say something so profound that you will not allow me to say it. So let me get back to what I was about to say. Ladies. When I went to the example of the two different type of ladies, an independent woman like yourself and my woman and my wife, who is independent, but in a different way. She allows me to lead, and she has no issue with that. She needs me, and I want to speak for her. I have that right. But an independent woman, in my eye, this is all I'm saying. It's not a bad thing. You don't need a man to speak for you because you made that so clear. You made it clear on this panel that you don't need any assistance because your thought processes and your values and your morals led you to believe that you don't need a man like that. You don't want to date a man that's making less than $40,000 a year. All that. You made that clear. So
what does that have to do with anything?
For you, he can't. Only you can speak for you, and that's all I'm saying. With all due respect, that's all I'm saying. There's nothing bad.
What I'm saying is you can't make that determination.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm perceiving and I'm assuming, and
right.
I'm not.
But you know what happens when you assume, right?
You are correct.
Right. There we go.
Okay, but let me bring it home. I've been coaching a female kickball team for 10 years. A female kickball team for 10 years. We won 2 championships, by the way, over the age 18 and older. Over half my team is biracial, gay, whatever you want to call it, transgender. So I'm very, very familiar with femininity and a woman who wants to be a man and wants to take the lead. So that's why I make my comments and I make my statements. I'm very well aware of who I'm talking to and what type of woman I'm talking to. So when I say Brownsville, you don't need the cape for a woman like PH Diva or Happy. I believe that because you can speak for yourself. But a woman not like you, like majority of the women, then I can see where Brownsville can put that cape on, because I consider doing that for myself, my wife, and my daughter. That's all I was saying. I land my.
And all I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what you could see. When the last time you had them glasses checked, right?
See,
so
come on
it
now.
doesn't
Come on,
matter.
come on now.
No. So what you see is irrelevant, right? You cannot think for me, right? I think we've demonstrated that over and over on these panels, right? You ain't qualified to think for me, so you aren't qualified to say who can speak for me. That's all I'm pointing out to you.
But I do have the right for my own observation, though, correct?
You have a right to your observation, but you were telling him what he need to be doing based on your observation. See, and this is what we talking about when we start talking about logic, and you got to be able to think in a straight line and think your way out of paper bag, right? So we can't just say it's not about what you just saying now. It's about what that means. We got to draw inferences from that. We got to draw it out to its logical conclusion, right? So you have your opinion or your observation. It's yours, right? And so if you kept it to yourself, I wouldn't even know what it was. But it was the fact that you took the extra step to then go and tell Brownsville what he should or should not be doing based on your observation, right? Not based on what I want.
I got you. I
got you. Okay. We clear.
Yeah.
It's yours, Sharon.
I think that's very true. So now we can get to the main event topic: why men get married. I think oftentimes, as we have with the last couple of conversations, men tend to use the example of sex, cooking, and cleaning as a reason why they should not get married, like as that is the reason why people stay in a marriage. Because there's plenty of women that do not have to cook or clean; they stay in the goddamn marriage. If you could pay for those things in your life to be paid for, and you making more money by not doing it, then yes, it absolutely makes sense that you don't cook or clean your goddamn house if you could afford it. But that does not take the fact that you can be happily married with somebody. It's not only about doing these things that is cooking and cleaning. You could pay somebody to do that whether you're in a marriage or not. We are not talking about just because we are looking at it as both genders gotta be complete adult human beings that can take care of themselves. And this is the problem that a lot of men are having. They want women to need them. And women don't need you to survive. They can survive on their own. And being an independent woman doesn't mean that they are not agreeable. Being independent doesn't mean that you are not compatible with another man. It doesn't mean that just because you're a man that everything you say is gold. A lot of men do not have the skill set to lead a household. Y'all need to be partners in every sense of the word partner. Most men are not out here able to they don't even know what books to read to be a leader. They don't know what values it takes to be a leader. They can't even stand on their own thoughts. Their thoughts are not even their own. That's why I came up with the whole term remedial rhetoric. Because they just regurgitate it. So it's plenty of things that happens other than cooking and cleaning and sex is the reason why men actually get married. Actually has nothing to do with cooking, cleaning, and sex. And this is the issue that a lot of men are having. They believe, because they listen to all these single men that do not have women, that are doing reach arounds, that want goddamn, they sit down with a bug plug every time they are doing a live stream. They are in front of their computer screen with no bottoms on, just whacking their life away. Those are the men that they are listening to. And now we have evidence of it. As the time goes by, we see the men are saying these things. They are addicted to these things. I was talking to a man that had been married for 22 years, and he said he cheated 20 of the years. And we supposed to take advice from you? He's also the same man that said he's jerked. He keeps Johnson & Johnson alive with all the lotion he buys. Even though his woman is sleeping in the next room. And we're supposed to take advice from you? Clearly, you got issues, bro. And we act like we don't see these men. We act like we don't see men saying that if I take her vagina away, they said that I'm going to take the whole essence of a woman away from the woman and say she's not valuable. Because she got estrogen. She got so much more than just a vagina. We know that. But we allow these men to say it. with no pushback, even though they pushback makes no sense. They will go ahead and say that they'll have no value besides their vagina, and then start a stream the next day and say, we respect women. We want women to be the best they can be. We know women have value besides vagina. So therefore, like you said yesterday, Otis, those men are just talking to be talking. You said that yesterday.
Yeah. I agree with that.
We having a conversation, we need to be able to stay strict on the topic. If we talking about good women, we should be able to talk about those good women without adding the bad ones in it at that moment. We do not need a contrarian every single time. If we on focus, if we on task, let's just stay there. It's okay to big up women when it's time to. And on this channel, it's time to. It's enough of those channels that talk about the bad. They get all the bad and the ugly other places, without a doubt. That's what they talk about 24/7. So therefore, we don't have to. They also talk bad about men 24/7. We don't talk bad about men 24/7 on this channel. We talk about how men need to level their game up. They say that's supposed to be red pill. We are being honest, right? So therefore, this is a honest channel. We talk about the good women. That's a red pill situation. There's good women out there. Is it not? Absolutely. So then if you want to call that red pill because we're talking about the truth, then fine. But let's keep it at the truth. Just because we're talking good about women doesn't mean we have to talk about bad women. It's okay to big up women. It's okay to have independent women. It's okay to have independent thinkers in this world. Just because they are giving you genuine pushback, it's okay.
Can I say something, Sharon?
Yes.
So I wanted to address the the statement about, you know, not needing a man and letting the man lead and not being willing to to date a man who earns $40,000, although I didn't really understand what that had to do with anything. But so I think when we're talking about, you know, leadership, a lot of men think that they simply by virtue of the fact that they pee standing up, that qualifies them to be a leader. But they don't understand that there's like several levels of leadership, right? And so the most basic level of leadership is you've been put in a position, right? So if you think that just because you're a man that you are entitled to leadership, that's the most basic level of leadership, and you likely are not a leader at all, right? And then there's the second level is permission. So we heard Otis say his wife allows him to lead. That's the second level. She gave him permission to lead. However, if you are needing someone's permission to be the leader, then again, you're really not leading, at least not all that effectively. So the third level is production, where you lead based on your outcomes, what you've been able to produce, right? And so that's like the first substantive level of leadership, because it's based on what you've been able to, you know, accomplish yourself. So if there's some results, you know, proof of concept has been executed. And so the problem is that many men have not even reached that level. And so if you're asking a woman to, you know, attach herself to a man who can only get out into the world and accomplish 40,000 for himself, he doesn't have the production to be able to lead the type of woman that you're telling him, you know, you're asking about attaching herself to him. So that doesn't really even make sense. And then the fourth level of leadership is where you're able to develop the person that you're leading into a leader. So if these men are truly the leaders that they say they are, then they're women. And if they're really a prolific leader, then their women would be able to develop other people into leaders as well, right? Because that's the fifth level. That's the pinnacle. When not the people that you've developed into leaders are then able to go and develop other people into leaders. So, you know, in the most common sense, your children. So is that woman that you have, is she able to raise your children to become leaders themselves when they, you know, move out into the world? And so
when a man wants to get married, he's only.
Sorry, Diva.
Oh, okay. No, I just think that, you know, the men need to really cut it out with all this leadership talk. And, you know, unless you really, at least at the very least, you've been able to produce enough to where you would earn a leadership position. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. And I think and what we got to start recognizing is that the culture is telling young people not to be married and not to get married because they don't see no value in marriage besides cook, cleaning, and sex and children. And it's a horrible way for young people to even look at marriage because it's so much deeper than that. And it is the fault of a lot of older people in relationships because they say a lot of negative things about marriage or about their spouse. Even when you ask somebody that's been married for 30 years, you say, hey, how's marriage? They're like, too long. So it makes some people like, ugh. Because it's way more than sex, right? The companionship is on a different level. That's why old people still get married when they're older, when they can't have sex. We know that old people still get married when they're 60 years old and they just looking for companionship, somebody to not even sleep next to, somebody to just wake up to every single day, even they sleeping in different rooms. People stay married. Some people, they need to sleep in different rooms for their marriage to work. And I guess they figure out which room they're going to go to have sex in. But me personally, I couldn't do that. I need to at least have a toe on you or something, goddamn it. I need to know you there. I need to know where you at all the time. Goddamn. We'll see in 20 years, right? When in 20 years, I might have a different point of view. I might be like, hey, goddamn it, you stink. You smell like old person skin. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, them old people, they had this certain smell to them. And maybe my nose will start looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe your fart's going to smell a little different when we 65. I don't know. And you can't hold it.
Hey, Sharon, don't be talking about my Aunt Esther.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll just say that I think we got to stop telling young men that marriage is only but cook, clean, sex. Is way deeper than that. And we got to stop it with the remedial rhetoric. It needs to stop. Because if you keep going in, then you're going to have your woman come downstairs and curse you out. That's all I'm saying. She going to put, what you going to say, Hank? She going to put your black ass out. Hey, it's possible. As long as we stay together, it doesn't matter. I got my room. She got her room. And I got some lotion. But it probably ain't gonna work anyway, so it's all good. They say it stops working after a certain age. I think Hink is at the age where it doesn't work anymore. So I'm pretty sure he could talk to it. So Hink, you can hit the link if you want, and you can tell us all about how it doesn't work anymore and how you still love your wife. Because I think Hink is at, I'm not sure how old Hink is, but I think he's at the age where, you know, he gotta take a blue chew.
Why you gotta be like that? Jeez.
Hands up, don't shoot. I'm just saying. What up, Brownsville, New York? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts first of all, PhD was absolutely right when she hit the nail on the head when she's talking about the leadership conversation as it pertains to men, right? Because a lot of men get on these platforms and they describe leadership in a conditional way. Right? They say, well, first the woman got to do X, Y, Z, and then I can be her leader. Right? Instead of showing and proving, like PhD said, being a leader by your outcomes, being a leader by your actions. And then once the female see your actions and see your productivity, now she's ready to come and follow your leadership. Right? So that's what men need to be emphasizing when they get on these spaces. Be a leader by your actions, show and prove, be a leader by your productivity. And then when it comes to marriage, right, what we got to understand is this. This is what we got to convey to the single people. Why should they get married? Well, I'm just going to break it down into 3 reasons, right? Men and women should be married, number 1, for companionship, right? Because when God created man, he looked at man and seen that man was lonely, right? So who did he create for that man? He created a good woman for that good man, right? And he knew that she would be the jelly to his peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about you, Sharon, but when I was younger, I hated eating peanut butter sandwiches without the jelly. You know what I'm saying? I had to have the jam with my peanut butter. And just like as a man, I got to have my woman. So you got to have that companion, someone to grow old with, someone to rub your back when they need rubbing, someone to talk you off a ledge when you want to go off a ledge, someone that has the ability to be the yang to your yin, to be the femininity to your masculinity, because when both of those sparks come together, it's the 4th of July, okay? The number 2 reason is support, right? Men and women, we support each other in various ways, but within a marriage, a husband supports a wife and a wife supports a husband. And I'm willing to guarantee, Sharon, your wife shows you so much support that you won't even be able to describe all the ways in which she supports your growth. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, right? As humans, we need support one from another, and there's no greater support from your spouse, right? And then the third reason is balance, right? Men and women balance each other out. Have you ever had cereal without milk? Come on now. The milk provides the balance within the cereal, and it makes it palatable. It makes it good. It makes it enjoyable to consume, right? We need that balance in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you have a lot of men leaning towards alcoholism, a lot of men leaning towards drugs, a lot of men leaning towards fighting on panels with other men, taking up for other men and denigrating women. Because why? They don't have that balance of a good woman in their life to tell them, no, a real man protects a woman and defends children. So that's what you should be doing. Get you a good woman, get you a spouse, and she's going to bring that balance into your life to where you can wear that cape too, like Superman.
Awesome. I also want to welcome to the show in the basement with his Blue Chew brother, my Blue Chew brother, Hank. He's going to tell us all about it.
Hank.
As you notice, my fan club is already here waiting for me. She calling my name, even though it's not correct. That's okay. That's okay. And for you, Sharon, who wants to know if my dick works without a blue pill or not, I'm concerned about this. Very much concerned, brother.
I'm just saying, you at the age, this is what they tell me, you at the age where it might be an issue.
No, I'm not. I guess I'm not at the age. I don't know what age it is, because I look here. I see some of them young 20-year-olds. They taking that shit just to give them the extra boost, and that's sad. But that's what they doing.
No smoke, Hank. I was just asking a question. This is what they say. That's all. I don't know.
No, if you want to know my age, just ask me, Sharon. I'm 48.
Damn, that's around the age that they say that it's a problem. That's what
sometimes it's like a.
It's not
take care. Hey, take care of yourself. You keep them cucumbers. Maybe you won't have to worry about those things.
Yes, exactly. My point. Exactly. Hey, Hank, right. Why do you think? Hey, Hank, I got a question for you. Why do you think men believe that marriage is only about cook, cleaning, and sex?
You said only?
Yes. Why do you think men believe that?
I don't think most men believe that that's the only thing. I mean, you might have a few guys that probably think like that, but I don't think most men think like that.
So on these spaces, when we had a conversation, do we not hear them say, hey, I could get a woman to cook, I could have a few women to have sex, I could hire a woman to clean. What is the purpose of me getting married? Do you not hear that?
I'm sure they probably say that, but I'm thinking they just saying that because it's like a starting point. But I hope they don't really feel like that. But
according to these conversations, they absolutely feel that way. Hank, I was just on a panel not too long ago where they said a woman don't even have any value besides those three things.
Well, I mean, he's dealing with a lot of bad women. Sound like then if that's the only value he sees in them, he deal with some ratchet women, and that's. I'm sorry if that man has to go through that and experience that, because I'm blessed to have a woman that's not that. That's more than that for me. So
thank you. And that's what we need to start speaking about. We need more men that do have these great women to have conversation about the great women in their life, because we have enough other people talking about all these horrible women. We know they exist. Sharon, but why do they exist in your life is the real question, because they don't exist in mine. They don't exist in
my friend Diva's praying to the good Lord's up high for a man like Hank. You know what I'm saying? That's what Diva does every night.
And I also want to say this: Eve is a good woman. The problem is that she didn't have a good leader because Adam said, "Hey, I'm going to eat the apple that you gave me," even though God gave him the commandment, told him not to eat the apple. He should have told Eve as he should have slapped at her hand. Bow! What's wrong with you? We're not supposed to bite that goddamn fruit. Leave that damn thing in the garden, and we'd have been all good, bucket naked, not knowing that we are naked, and living a great, fun life of it would just all have been 70 degrees. No weather bad, no famine, none of that shit. So yes, she is a good woman. She just went astray, and the man was weak. Adam was weak, not her. This is the part that y'all don't understand about the story. I don't know why y'all don't understand that part, but you know why they don't understand? It's because
they
want to be victims.
No, but my man sit there and said, he said, Brownsville, I think that's who was talking when I got on. He was that plane was up there for a minute, so he was talking about how women will help you and push you along. I don't know if your woman name is PhD, she ain't gonna push you along. She gonna push you over and collect that insurance check. I ain't trying to say nothing, but I'm just saying.
You said it.
Why you talking about me?
DV, you know how we do. We got that little back and forth. We got that. I miss you in the house. I ain't gonna say what house, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
See, but this is a problem, Hank. When I be hearing you talk a lot of times, you like to indulge in the conversation of women, the bad women. And like, I don't believe that you have an influx of horrible women in your life. And I don't think it's enough men saying like the truth of the matter. Like, yes, it is horrible women, just like it's horrible men out there. But however, if that type of individual in your life, then that means that is a you problem. It's not a society problem. That's a you. So do you disagree?
Look, look. Have I had some bad women in my life? Yes. When in my 20s, I dated some questionable women. I had fun with some questionable women, and it is what it is. But I would never marry them women. That's the key. Those women would never be blessed with my last name.
That is 100% true. And I just want to tell every man that do not understand what Hink said is just simple as this.
Don't get mad at me, nigga. I'm here telling the truth. If somebody else should have told you this.
Right.
That is all. GBGville, what it do? How you feeling?
I'm okay.
We got regular GBGville. That is what's up. So GBGville, the way how I brought up marriage and why men should get married. Men should not be looking at cooking, cleaning, and sex as a reason to get married. It is way deeper than that. Do you understand that point of view now? Because we've been talking about it for the past 3 days. And so I'm trying to get us to get to a real understanding that marriage, you can actually subsidize all those things, cooking, cleaning, and even lotion, and you can still be happily married.
Sure, whatever you say.
What you think, Otis?
I don't know. I'm not even lie. I'm letting that process. I'm letting that process. You always come with these double. I mean, you could. I'm letting somebody else speak. See if I could come up with my own assessment. I'm not even lie. I'm being real.
I appreciate that.
Otis still reeling from what I just did to him.
I knew it. Why you? PhD, I swear I love you. People don't understand. I love you, but stop it. And no, my wife did not cuss me out. We had a great conversation. But for real, I want somebody else to go so I can assess my opinion on that seriously. I heard you. I just don't know what I feel about that right now.
Happy, what is your thoughts on marriages are more than just cooking, cleaning, and sex? Goddamn Happy.
Yeah, no, give me a minute.
No problem.
You said marriage is more than what?
Cooking, cleaning, and sex.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm ready. Lord have mercy. Yes, it is. Of course, it's way more than that. Obviously. What?
Like how many miles apart? Because you said
miles. I mean, I don't like that analogy. It's far apart. The cooking and all that stuff is just part and parcel of that. That comes with it. Now, that's not gender-based. Let me keep it real. Majority of that is gathered around genders. Women do generally do majority of those things that you name. Fortunately, in my household, my wife does majority of those things. I'm pretty sure in someone else's household, the man would do that. I have no issue with that. But based on what you said, there's other things way more important than what you just said. That's two separate things. That's what I would say. Most definitely.
Thank you. And now we can start getting to some real honest conversations instead of just trying to be proving a goddamn point. Too many times in these conversations, people just want to prove a point. They say this person is to blame or that gender is to blame. And it's annoying to me, to be honest with you, because it doesn't make no sense. If you're just not getting the results that you want, you need to go find somebody that had the results that you want and trust them that they are leading you in the right direction as long as they seem fit. Until they don't seem fit. It's definitely an opportunity. Just why they say when you go to church, you got to try churches out until you find your one church. You cannot just go to any church and that church is still going to be the one. Sometimes you might have to go 3, 4, 5 churches. So you might have to go to 3 or 5 goddamn mentors. You might go to 3 or 5 different psychiatrists, like all those things. What the hell are you talking about in the back? Land the plane. It is landed, Hank. What you talking about? Oh, okay.
No, not at that time. It wasn't. It circled around a couple times. I thought I'd go run out of fuel.
I think most men believe that though, Sharon. I think most men believe what I just said. I really do. I think most men believe that. It's more than just
seem like when we had these conversations, most men do not believe it. A lot of young men are confused about what's going on in this whole marriage thing and being in long-term relationships. They are very confused about it. They do not know who to trust. They don't know if they should trust the people that are saying stay single for the rest of your life. They don't know if they should trust the men that are saying they do have good marriages and they having sex. They don't know. Because it's a lot of men that's talking, say they've been with their wife for 10 years and they only had sex for 5. And so that scared them.
That's crazy. To each his own, though. To each his own. I mean, go ahead. You like to say something?
Yeah, what I was gonna say, the people should be teaching is the people who gave birth to them, the parents. That should always be your first teacher of everything and all things. That should be your first teacher. That's who should be teaching, and hopefully they're able to set a good example for the kids to mimic and learn from.
Hank, you know that's the wrong ideology because most of the time the reason why we are on these spaces looking for guidance is because we didn't have it in our personal lives. So that's life,
though. That's life.
I learned from my mama and daddy being separated. I knew what not to do. I knew that I didn't want that. I remember vividly at around 2-3 years old, for real, looking up at my mama and my father going at it. I remember vividly. I promise you I do. I'm not making that shit up. I remember
going at it. What do you mean by going at it?
Physically pushing each other.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I really do. And I'm being honest. I remember the smell of my father. You know how you think of someone, the fragrance re-trigger something? I still remember my father's smell, but I don't know the man. But I remember that physical. So I knew then, as growing up, I didn't want to be that way towards a woman. I knew that. I learned that, you know. So, yeah, so I think that's possible. You do learn from broken homes, but not to do.
So the thing is, some people, they get confused with that part. Some people, they learn what not to do because, for example, some people, their fathers wasn't in their life, and then they go and have children and say, I'm never going to do what my father did to me, and they overly in their child's life. And then they got other people that say, hey, shit, my daddy wasn't shit, so I ain't shit.
How you overly in your child's life? That don't make sense.
Compared to what their life was.
You could never be overly in your child's life.
That's to a normal father, though.
Any father. How could you be overly in your child's life?
Because somebody that didn't have their child in their life, the normal things that they doing as a father, they were like, man, they are 100 times deeper into their child's life. So in their minds, they like, that's over fatherly.
No, that's just you being the type of man you need to be.
Right. That's you saying that because the problem is that you are a healthy human being, so you understand that. But the person that went through
okay.
a traumatic situation, they don't understand that. That's normal.
Look here, Sharon, y'all not gonna keep taking shots at my buddy Diva. Only I can take the shots at Diva now. I mean, if you're gonna take shots at her, tell me the joke and I'll say it.
We got to have some fun because Diva's something else. We got to have some fun too, man. Diva be starting all that shit.
I can't keep letting y'all take shots at my buddy.
You can't have all the fun, dog. And I'm just now meeting you. Hey, it's a pleasure meeting you, but you can't have all the fun. Diva come hard.
And so also, like, you know, so we know people that come from alcoholic parents, and they turn into alcoholics themselves, so they didn't learn.
I'm sorry, Sharon. What you saying?
What I'm saying that some people come from alcoholic parents, and then they become alcoholics, so they didn't learn. So some people they don't learn. A lot of people do not be like Otis and learn what not to do. They just see it and they say, "Oh, this is what I thought was normal." So
you always learn something from your parents.
I beat my woman because my daddy beat my mom's ass, so I just figured that this is what men's supposed to do.
Yeah, you always learn something from your parents, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. You learn something from your parents. Like I learned from my dad was having a good work ethic. That was one of the things I learned from my father. He worked all the time. That was him. He's 2 or 3 jobs, didn't matter. He was always working. That wasn't, it wasn't a time he wasn't working out there going and get the resources that he needed for him and his other family. You know what I'm saying? So that he taught me that. That was a good thing he taught me. But what
other family?
And also, I want to say this: Hank, you can't overfather.
I had a stepmother and a stepbrother.
Oh, okay.
Also, Hank, I would say you can't overparent. You can't overfather, overmother. You could be a helicopter parent. You could be overprotected, so you can't overparent.
Well, but is that overparent or being over, or is it just being overprotective?
It's still overparenting. It's an overcorrection.
So you thinking being overprotective is the same thing as being overparenting?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we always get in trouble with these words here.
I can't agree with that, Sharon, but I understand what you're saying and what you mean by that.
Why you can't agree with it? If you understand me. If you understand me, how you can agree with it?
Because now you're gonna sit there and tell me, well, if I'm over loving my son, or over loving my daughter, because I want nothing but the best for them, right? But I'm over parenting, according to you.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So it means I need to scale back and start telling my daughter or my son I love them because I'm doing too much. I'm saying 5 times a day. That's just way too much.
So now you are changing. This is what happens a lot in these spaces. Now you're trying to frame it as saying I love you is overparenting. I never said saying I love you equals overparenting.
Or me always want to be around my kids. Is that still overparenting? Or helicoptering? Was that what you're talking about?
No, helicopter parenting is very specific, and
maybe I'm not understanding. Explain that helicopter
definition to it, and most people understand the definition of it. And this is the problem that we do have in these spaces that people want to just prove a point or disprove somebody else instead of using the definition. We know what a helicopter parent is.
Oh man, no. How about you break it down? Because maybe what I'm thinking it is and what you're thinking it is 2 different things. So I want to hear what you think. I'm gonna let a doctor explain. No, Sharon, this is your word. She had to go. She had to go. On perfect timing. So now, Sharon, you the one kept saying it. I want to hear your explanation, your definition of it.
And for the record, I'm 53. I've never heard of that term. I'm being honest. So,
I heard of it.
I haven't. So I'm for real. I want to hear. I promise I'm not playing. I'm being funny. I'm so serious.
Oh shit, he don't know damn self. Look at him, he's struggling.
I'm serious. I've never heard of it. Hank, I'm being honest. I never heard that term, so that's why I'm being quiet. I want to hear what it means because that's why I ain't saying that. I never heard that term.
Otis, I heard of it, so I just want to know what his definition of, because what I'm thinking it is compared to what he's talking about and what he was using it. I'm like, okay, we must have 2 different definitions.
I don't know.
We wait for Sharon to look it up because he really don't know what it means. That's why he looking up. He's stalling. He's stalling right now. Go ahead, keep stalling. We're gonna keep talking for you, Sharon. You keep looking.
What's the word?
Helicopter parenting. Helicopter parents.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
Like you don't understand what helicopter parent means.
No, I understand, but
that means that you're being overprotective as a parent.
So I thought we said Sharon was supposed to give it this definition.
You're not allowing your children to figure out the world for themselves to their detriment, to the point that when they finally leave the nest, they're unable to function as an adult because you did not allow them to get those experiences as a child.
Got you. Got you.
So,
Thank you.
so Sharon, is that your same definition? What Brownsville just gave?
I believe that's everybody's definition.
No.
Dude, I hate when he does that.
He can't say that.
He says everybody when I'm clearly being honest with you. I never heard that term. So now you're trying to make me feel like I'm stupid because you said clearly everybody knows what that means. Clearly not.
Oh, that's not even the case. He couldn't come with it with himself. His family had to take care of and bail his ass out.
Because I honestly didn't know. Seriously.
I asked you, Sharon, and Cuz came through with the definition for you.
Right,
so I just want to make sure we was on the same page. That's all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Brownsville, for the definition. Thank you, sir.
Peace and love, no problem.
Right on.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that too, Brownsville.
Right on. Because I know family couldn't do it.
Let me correct what I said, Otis. Everybody that understood the term or heard the term understood that definition.
Here comes some more bullshit.
I got you. It's still BS, but I get to though.
Hey, Otis, everybody understood it but Sharon, because he sure didn't give it to the definition.
And for the record, you are correct. I'm just saying, right is right. Thanks, Brownsville. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you, Brownsville, again. Because Cuz couldn't come up with it. He came on short. You need to take a blue pill on your knowledge.
That nigga cooking you right now.
Stop it. He ain't cooking a goddamn thing. I'm vegan. The hell you talking about he cooking? He ain't cooking a goddamn thing.
I'm sauteing him. There you are.
The problem is he was trying to paint a narrative and it did not work because I stopped it. Dead in his tracks. It ain't nothing about saying I love you. It's about people being obsessed with their children. Don't allow their children to be goddamn children. They own every single thing they do. Oops, you fell down. Let me squirt some sanitizer. Hey, baby, don't do that. Don't crawl there.
I agree with that. You can definitely overparent. You can come on too strong. I will agree with that most definitely.
But see, I wouldn't call that overparenting.
But then you're wrong.
I wouldn't. And listen to the definition. I'm gonna have to look up what overparenting means then. If it's same as a helicopter, I know you're not gonna give it to me. I mean, need to go ask Brownsville. You don't give out shit.
You know what? I will type it in and I will give you the exact definition. Hold on. I'll give you an exact definition. Okay, this is from verywellfamily.com. Let's see. The term helicopter parent is often used to define a group of parents who engage in a practice of overparenting. It's in the definition. Jesus Christ.
Would this be a definition of overparenting? I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna call it something else, but watch this. Hank, you have kids, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If one of your children were involved in a sport and they want to per se give up because they don't like it anymore because it is their prerogative, or they're playing the sport but they're not really taking it serious, and you know they could do better, so you waking them up at 5 o'clock in the morning, making them do calisthenics, getting them ready, yada yada with the woo. Would you think that would be a form of overparenting in that situation?
No. So here we go. I want to make it clear. No, because those are two different things.
It sounds like it though.
So here we go. It's a parent that is overly involved in controlling, and it could be harmful to the child's mental health or self-esteem or his coping skills. That's when it's overparenting. You just pushing your kid forward to do something extraordinary is not the same as overparenting.
But waking them up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
It sounds
waking
like
them up
it,
at
though.
5 o'clock in the morning?
This sounds
not overparenting. No, that's not overparenting.
Okay.
That is setting a standard.
That's what it sounds like.
No, that is setting a standard for your child.
I tell you, it's borderline.
When you're affecting the kid's mental health, and then now it doesn't have has bad self-esteem because of your parenting style, and it doesn't have coping skills because of your parenting style. That is you inflicting those things into your child. That is overparenting, helicopter parenting.
What was the example that y'all gave, Sharon, that was supposed to be overparenting?
Oh shit!
They try to say having strict rules with your child, like waking up 5 a.m. to go for a 2-mile run.
No, I'm not even gonna do that.
He just said more than that. He just said more than that.
What I said was, if you have a child and they're engaged in a sport, whether they want to be or not, and they're being lackadaisical about the sport, and you know because you're the father, they're not putting forth the effort, so you're pushing them to wake up earlier in the morning to train harder during the day, whatever the situation may be. You're overdoing it per se. Is that a form of overparenting?
No.
And again, the reason why it's not overparenting because all those skills that you will push it into that child is going to give them confidence.
But
it's going to build up their self-esteem because they're going to get better. So all the things is opposite of overparenting. Overparenting makes them have low self-esteem. It has bad coping skills. So this is what
that's not true.
Let me take my time. Let me take my time and explain it. So this is what I'm saying.
But Sharon, did you hear what he said the first time? How he said he wasn't going to let them quit.
After you finish, Sharon, then I'm gonna go.
So what I'm saying is that the things that Otis had brought forward, those things is gonna push inside their parent more self-confidence in that child. It's gonna give them more coping skills because they know that they could move forward, they could push themselves higher and stronger. So they will have better coping skills and say, hey, I could get through something. That is a part of coping. And saying, oh, something bad happened to you. I got injured. They got through it. They worked harder. It's a coping skill. Also, self-esteem. When a child gets better and you are preaching through achievements, the child's self-esteem get higher. So those are all opposite of overparenting. Overparenting again is a style of over-involved and controlling parenting that could harm the child's mental health, self-esteem, and coping skills. So all the things that we are just talking about is opposite of those things. So therefore, it's not helicopter parenting.
All right. So
hold on. What was that definition of you just gave?
Yeah,
that's helicopter parent.
Yeah. So Sharon, what happens is I actually agree with you. What happens is, and see, it's a little bit more different for parents that have children that are have played sports in high school all their lives and later on play collegiate, and it depends on what type of family where you raised that way as well. This is why I stress people to make sure when you become a parent, it's just not through obligation, but through privilege and blessing. So that means that you should ingratiate yourself with the individual that you help create. Get to know them, their strengths and weaknesses, and you will see clearly what they can do, what they cannot do. I'll give you an example. My son and my daughter took my athletic side. She been playing soccer, softball, basketball, flag football, all through her whole life ever since she was like 5 years old. So what happens is my daughter is what's called a perfectionist. She thrives through adversity, through pressure. She's harder on herself than I could ever be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to do. You have to understand what type of child you get, and then you'll know if I can push him without breaking him. And so far, from me doing that with my daughter, I have put a lot of pressure on her, more pressure than what I had put on my son, as far as from a standpoint, and it has worked out. She's been on the honor society, on the road her whole entire life, has played athletic sports. We got trophies all lined up around her room. And now she's on her way to D1 colleges. She's got scholarships all across the nation. So it depends on the personality, child, the individual that you got to get to know the child before you just say, oh, because you see that child getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, building their body up, building, through adversity, their mind, all these type of things. And you see them, they might be dropping tears. But you see when they get on that field and that child has your last name, everybody chanting their name, you see that hard work is well worth it. And I say that.
So it's a real thin line of the description you're
not.
Okay. Look her. Please believe me. That kid you was talking about had to push, that was my son. That's what I had to do with him. And I remember having to dragging him into the gym with me to go work out and lift weights. He didn't want to do it. I'm talking about roughing him up, bribing him, doing everything I could to get him there. It wasn't until his junior year before he would do it on his own. And I didn't have to say anything to him. It took me damn near 4 years to do that, going from 8th grade all the way up to his junior year to do that, because he just didn't want to do it. He felt like basketball players didn't need all these big muscles and to be strong and all that. And I told him it's just the opposite. So that was me. When I remember when he first got into basketball, how he played against a certain level. He got comfortable. He was better than them kids. But then when I took him to a high level and a traveling AAU team, he didn't want to do it. He felt like it was too hard going to them practice. I said, no, we're not going to do this because I already paid. I said, finish out the year and then we'll make a decision if you still want to do it. Perfect. Guess what? By the end of the year, he was loving it. But I had to keep pushing him and encourage him and doing it, dragging him sometimes to get to practice.
So Hank, we are all saying the same thing. So what the difference is, again, so like it built confidence and self-esteem in him that he was able to compete. So once he was able to do it and he realized he could go to the next level, it brought a sense of pride to him. And that's the difference. And that's why he's continuing to do it. He's not doing it because you didn't make it as a basketball player. And you say, no matter what, you got to get us out of this goddamn living situation that we are in. And you are living your life through your parent, your child.
No, because I didn't play basketball.
Okay, so stop. So I was saying, sometimes we just gotta stop arguing to argue football. And listen to what words is being used. And sometimes we just argue to argue.
No,
a good example, Hank, a good example of what Sharon's talking about, the helicopter parenting, and everybody's seen it. You take your kids when they're young to the playground, and those kids get into a squabble in the playground or get into a little bit conflict, and then you're gonna have certain parents like myself gonna sit back and see how their kids resolve that conflict. But then you'll have certain parents that's gonna get up there, oh no, Johnny, and they're gonna get their kid, and they're always trying to resolve their kids' conflicts, right? So then when they get older and they come on these panels, they're cussing people out, they're disrespecting women, and all of these kind of things like that. Those are the people who never learned conflict resolution skills as a kid because either they had an absence during parenting or they were helicopter parents, and that is why they didn't learn that good life skill that they needed to have.
So, and Brown, I understand what you're saying, but I'm looking at it could be borderline what I was considered over parenting, not being a helicopter parent. That wasn't me. That was more so my son's mother, is my ex-wife.
And I believe just now we corrected it. So this way, the line is very thick. It ain't thin.
Yeah, I disagree. But okay, but there's nothing wrong with us agreeing to disagree. That's what's civil discourse is all about. Ain't that right, Sharon?
Yes. And it's okay. It is okay that you need a blue chew and I don't. That's because I do squats.
Yeah, it depends on
what are you squatting on? That's what we need to.
We all different.
God damn,
y'all crazy, man.
God damn, Sharon.
Yeah, we're all different people, and we help create different individual children. You see what I'm saying? So Hank's son, who plays college ball, he probably saw something where he had to probably, come back a little bit more in order to get more out of him. It depends on the individual. Like my daughter started walking at 6 months. So she always was like advanced. She was climbing on stuff, carrying around stools around the house so she can get to a certain space, using utensils early. Yeah, she was always progressive. So that let me know a lot of things that when, with her brother, that I had to at least allow her to do certain things where a lot of times she was grabbing her brother and bringing him along. You see what I'm saying? To show him things. She was, far advanced, and also she exampled a lot of leadership qualities. So it depends on, it really depends on the child. Whether, like my son, he's more introverted. You see what I'm saying? He likes to be, in the house to himself. He thinks a lot outside the box. My daughter is more, interpersonal with people and gravitating to other individuals. So that's what parenting is all about: is being able to assess the situation with your children and getting the most out of them. That's what it's about.
That's true. That's true.
Most definitely. I agree with
that. Thank you. I appreciate everybody for showing me love today. Yes, sir. And so that is the conclusion of today's show. We are the solution-based group. Yes, right. We got to change the name because y'all don't want to crowdfund it. So I got to go look for sponsors elsewhere. And they said, you got to change your name to group. God damn it. So they don't want us to represent anything other than positivity and productivity. And I'm definitely going to attempt to get some plugs as a sponsor. Hey, so we're going to do this again tomorrow around 9 a.m.-ish. You know how we do. We try to build this plane as we fly. We rebel against Ramita Reddick. We did an excellent job today of getting through some things. I will see y'all later. Thank you. I appreciate everybody that hung out with me today. Thank you.